This is called Monster. Revealing the monster. How many of you thought something was lurking in your room at night when you were younger? Maybe you thought it was in your closet, or maybe you thought that it was underneath your bed, but you were afraid to look. How many movies have we seen with children who think something dark is there, so they pull the covers over their heads and turn on the flashlight to ignore the sound, the feeling, the presence of what they consider to be a monster? The only way to get rid of a monster is to face it and tell it that you are not afraid, that you will not run, you will no longer hide from it, and you will no longer allow it to hide behind your love and your light. When you first meet people, it is not their words that you need to pay attention to. It is their eyes and their actions that are the most relevant in determining whether or not you are dealing with a monster. It could be someone you've known since childhood, or someone you are dating, married to, friends with, or even family. I won't go into depth about the monsters you recognize because they blatantly hurt you, abused you, and openly sought to destroy you. Those monsters do not wear a disguise. The monster you share your deepest thoughts and emotions with is the monster you are completely vulnerable around. You think you are sharing these beautiful moments and creating these amazing memories, but in retrospect, you are placing yourself exactly where the monster wants you to be. Let me assure you that monsters do not and cannot love you because they haven't figured out how to love themselves. Monsters tell you what you want to hear, which is why you cannot listen to what is said. You need to pay attention to what you see through their eyes and through their actions. There were monsters underneath my bed for several years, and from childhood to adulthood, I gave them a home. I protected them with my love and through my light, until one day I realized that I was an enabler. I had allowed monsters to dim my light, and my light was meant to shine infinitely bright. I could no longer ignore what I had seen and experienced, so I began to distance myself. With each step I took away from the darkness of monsters, I reclaimed more of my light. But listen closely, because some of you think you don't have a monster in your midst. And I want you to be equipped with the tools to differentiate light from darkness. Who is the monster? What is the monster? It is the person who always finds a way to magnify your flaws to minimize your awareness of theirs. It is the person who disrespects you when things don't go as expected. It is the person you allow to control you and encourages you to feel bad about wanting to be happy. It is the person who watches you suffer while holding the antidote to relieve your pain in their closed hand. It is the person who gaslights you, manipulates you, lies to you, and takes from you. It is the person who talks about you behind your back, or the one who laughs at the tears that roll down your face. It is the person who pretends they support your success but secretly hate it and will take extreme measures just to see you fail. It is the person who assumes the worst of you when they know you give the very best version of yourself. It is more satisfying to a monster to feel it is the only thing that can invoke emotions from you, whether it's happiness, sadness, depression, excitement, etc. How many monsters do you have underneath your bed? How much darkness have you allowed to keep you stagnant, restricted, and uncomfortable? Stop pulling the covers over your head and pretending you don't see the monsters. Stop ignoring your experiences and start paying attention to the actions of others. I no longer need the covers nor the flashlights. I am the brightest light that shines through any darkness. When you start to take steps towards attracting the life and love you desire, monsters become angry. They become possessive and they can no longer be inconspicuous. Their presence is obvious. If they can't reach you directly, they will go through your loved ones, your children, your family, simply because you were their host for the longest time. You carried them on your back. You took them to your bed. And the day you decide that your light is more important than their darkness, that will make them angry. So pay attention. This is a story about the monsters that were underneath my bed. I hope that my writings inspire you to finally look to see how many are underneath yours.